He's actually a big fan of yours. He's the guy who's in like, yeah, I can't wait for this interview. I had to run most of the questions that we had by him first. I
Oh,
mean,
is that right?
yeah. If I didn't, we'd be asking you stuff that you've already answered before. But I mean,
Yeah.
like, you know, getting to hear this interview kind of brings a whole new perspective onto Kojima and Metal Gear Solid. And the thing that's really sad is that you want us to cut out some bits, and we will do that. It's like, man, this. I don't think everybody would think of Kojima and Konami Computer Entertainment Japan West or Kojima Productions, whatever you want to call them these days, the same. I don't think I can look at them the same. But I mean, I guess
Yeah.
it's just to
I mean,
expect.
what? I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, there's aspects of Kojima that I guess deserve the label of genius because he can bring projects together and inspire people to thinking that you know. So on some level, right? But have you watched Star Wars lately?
Well, a
You
little bit.
guys, original Star
Actually,
Wars?
I was just watching it the
The
other
movie
day.
sucked. You know, I mean, you watch Star Wars and you say, "Where did this fucking guy learn how to direct?" It sucks.
Every
Am
other
I
scene cut is a pan.
Yeah,
right? Am I right or am I wrong? I
you're
mean, I
right.
know I was 10 years old when it came out, but he doesn't know how to make a movie. Clearly, George Lucas doesn't know how to fucking make a movie. Um, it's kind of the same thing about Kojima. It's like, on one level, you say, man, this is like such
Brilliant.
tripe. Such tripe, such smelly tripe. But everyone's got an idea, and the actual people that go out and get the shit done and burned onto, games and, you know, are very few. And he's got the qualities that made it all possible. And he inspired a lot of people. He inspired me. Um, I just think his worst qualities are that he goes on too long. I mean, everybody knows that. I'm not the only one to say that.
I stand by that Metal Gear Solid 2. It went on for way too long. I didn't. I mean, I think there's a story can be complicated, but I think there's times where your story can be too complicated and contain too much in it.
No doubt. Look at Silent Hill 2. That's such a simple story.
It's
You
simple and
know,
it's deep.
it's
Yeah,
Hitchcockian. It's like so simple
yeah.
because
It's one of
I
those.
think that but stories follow it's like Occam's razor. Occam's razor. You
Mm-mm.
know, it's kind of like this I think for writing stories too because um, stories have an internal logic of their own, and if you have to twist them so badly, um, then you've not done service to your own story. They should be simple. You know.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, it's like Silent Hill 2. It's you can play it through on your first time, you don't understand it all. But you go back and you see so much in it that you're like, I didn't see this before. I don't understand this part. And you got people on the internet just like putting out all these different looks at the story, like in Game Facts. You know
mm,
Dan Burlew, right?
yeah.
Yeah, he has his own little theory on Game Facts and just text and text and text. Like people are actually going through all of these games and just like analyzing all the bits and pieces that you put in there.
I'm trying to remember how I know Dan Burlew.
Yeah, he kind of has like a little bad rep in the Metal Gear community, though. He did a poor job on Metal Gear Solid 3 Guide, if I remember correctly.
The pretty much every guide he's worked on, to be honest, except for Silent Hill.
Oh, he's a guide guy,
Yeah,
Dan
he
Burlew.
works for Brady Games.
I think he
Oh, he
did. I
works
haven't
for
seen him
Brady.
lately.
Oh,
He
yeah,
did
yeah,
the
yeah,
he did the
yeah,
Metal Gear Solid 2 guide, and he
yeah. Right,
did the 3 guide, and they were just
right.
horrible.
Mm.
Yeah, especially 2. I think it kind of
Yeah,
lost track right halfway through it.
yeah.
But I think that's about it as far as our questions. But we have one more that we can say specifically for the last, and that's right down here.
Well, I got one more question to add in, if it's all right.
Go
All
ahead,
right.
shoot.
What are your thoughts now? I don't know if you've heard about this yet or not, but Kojima is doing a sort of revival of the Snatcher franchise, and they're
Yes.
planning a radio drama and a possible sequel on the Wii. And what are your thoughts on that?
Well, there was a Metal Gear Solid radio drama in Japan, wasn't there? Or was
Yeah,
Yeah,
that a
it just
yeah?
got translated by Mark again. He
Did
put it
it?
there.
Um, what are my thoughts on him reviving the Snatcher thing? I don't know. I mean, um, so many levels to answer that question. On a personal level, as a fan, I like Snatcher. It's cool. So I can answer like that. Snatcher was excellent, right?
Hmm.
It's despite the fact that it was, I mean, a direct rip off of Blade Runner and Terminator. with a little Terminator thrown in on the top. I think it's a great piece of work. But having said that, you do have to understand it was a direct ripoff of Blade Runner. You know, all you fans out there, love you, but you know, I think that you know what is a character? What is this guy Gillian, right? Whose real name should have been pronounced Jillian, which is a girl's name who I didn't even know at the time. You know. And what is this character? It's a combination of the lines that I wrote and that actor, what's his name that you were saying before?
Jeff Lupetin.
Jeff Lupetin.
Jeff Lupetin, who was so funny, man. I mean, he said those lines so funny. I remember this one line. Oh God, he just cracked us up because, God, he was just he brought this really wry, like sarcastic sense of humor to it that you can't write into the script and you can't repeat in a radio drama. So it's not going to be the same for me, and it's not going to be the same for. He just, I can't remember the line that he just said some line in a slightly different way, you know, like that old joke about, you know, what's that, we make this joke, directors and actors and voice studios make this joke when a actor reads a line so poorly because they don't read it correctly.
Yeah.
You know, like they don't understand how the line was meant. So the joke we say, what's that up in the road ahead?
Oh,
man, what's that up in the road ahead? You know, because they're reading the line wrong.
Yeah, and like.
So what's it without Jeff? You know, Jeff was Gillian. You know, he's hilarious.
Well, I mean, like you said that Gillian's name was supposed to be pronounced Jillian, right?
Yeah, it's a girl. I mean, I didn't know back then. I'd never heard the name.
You serious? No one here knew that either, I don't think. Everybody just calls him Gillian because that's the way it looks. I never thought it was supposed to be Jillian, though.
Yeah, I thought it was like, like Gideon or something like that. But
the Japanese version is like Girion. Yeah, Girion.
Is that right?
Well,
that's because somewhere along the line, Kojima got the mistake. He read the name he must have read the name and thought, that looks like a great name. And so...
Put it in there.
Whatever. It's the future, man. It's the future where men are named Gillian. But,
Gillian Seed.
So I think it's good that he's reviving it, and it's also understandable because, what are you gonna have, like geriatric Snake next? You know.
You're not that far off.
Yeah. Getting crazy.
Water Snake.
There's a camo of that in Metal Gear Solid 3, if I remember correctly.
Is it what?
Camouflage that you can equip in Metal Gear Solid 3 Water Snake or something like that. But, well, in closing now, I mean, we're at 1 hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And, man, it's going to be hard on you, Ryan. You're going to love this. No, you're going to love it. Every minute of editing. But, in closing, what would you have to say, for the Metal Gear Solid fan community? Like, everyone wants you back for Metal Gear Solid 4. But, I mean, it's already translated, apparently. They just recorded it in L.A., and they're going back to L.A. in a couple weeks to record more. I mean, if they came to you and said, do Metal Gear Solid 4, would you do it?
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't hesitate. I love my job. I love writing, and I like directing these things when I get a chance to direct them. And
would you do it the same way as Metal Gear Solid 1, though?
I can't change, Yeah. I would do it the same way.
Who's fun?
Yeah, I would do it exactly the same way, and I would feel actually like that now I have a what do you call it when a president gets gets voted for, he feels like he has everyone's support. So I'd feel like I had some ammunition in saying, the community wants a cool Metal Gear, Snake who, whatever.
He has
when you bring actors to it, you gotta, as a director, you have to use what the actors have, You can't like impose your own thing 100% on it. You have actors, and they have limited voices that they can do, and they have limited ranges that they can do, and
yeah,
it's fun as hell, though. I'll tell you, I always advocate for the product. I always, especially if it's a good product. If it's a piece of shit, I don't care. But